So there with George.
Are looking good?
Oh yeah, natural.
Yeah, I can feel George's tail touching me up really nicely.
He wants to hold on.
Yeah.
And
good accessories, much better when they're alive.
Oh yeah.
Very stylish.
Yep. This is the way. If you can't wear snake skin like this, then don't wear it at all.
You're not fashionable or brave enough to wear it the true way, you know.
Well, Lola, where you going? Oh, she's down here. Come here. Come on up. It's your miserable self. She saw us down there, so we're going down there to be a little pest.
So people could see that I'm actually in here and it's not fake.
Right.
My partner's over there.
Oh, 6.
Gotcha.
These guys are high in that
I've had girlfriends that have gone and get keratin in the hair and
there you go. You see how everything in life relates back. It's not like just the animals, it's people. We all require the same.
So basically, I was just dating a bunch of owls.
They're kind of clumsy on their first flight, crashed into something.
Okay.
So he has a bit of a dislocated shoulder. We try not to wrap it too much there because now we can sometimes create other problems with that. But other than that, it's a beautiful snake in great condition. So once we keep this guy from getting infected and so on, it will do great.
You're really not cooperating today. Come on, let me see those wings.
Ooh! Yeah. Spread out big there, boy. Good morning, family. Hi, Lukey Pie. So, Daddy's going to see animals today. I wish I could bring you, but you have stuff to do with Mom at home. I'm going to a wildlife conservation center in El Socorro. You want to come? How about a high five? High five. High five. Bongs, bongs. Bongs, mama. We're off to explore something really cool today. A rehabilitation center for wildlife in El Socorro. I don't know much about it, but I've seen their pages on Instagram, so I just reached out and I was like, can I come by and get an explanation and a little visit of what you guys do here? And they told me yes. So both of us are going to learn today what's going on, as in you, the viewer at home, and of course myself. But either way, I've always been very passionate about animals, as is Lucas apparently. We're going to go and see what they're doing to help, the wildlife in Trinidad and Tobago, and I'm sure it's a really fantastic thing. So come along with us. Come along. Let's dance. Dance, 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 Trinidad, dance, dance. You dancing? You can't have this camera. Say bye, everyone. Say bye-bye. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Right, everyone. So, I finally reached down. We're here with the boss man himself. I want you to give your own introduction, tell us your name and what goes on down here, anything we need to know as an intro.
All right, hi, good morning everybody. My name is Ricardo Mead. I am the founder and director at the El Socorro Centre for Wildlife Conservation. This year we're celebrating in November 20 years of service in wildlife conservation, wildlife rehabilitation and wildlife education. What this means is that the focus is not really on the animals. We use the animals as a tool to help people. So our conservation is community oriented, because if the community doesn't buy in, if the community doesn't see where they can benefit from the conservation of animals, your plan is going to fail. So we're about success. We are environmentalists. So we care about the animals, we care about the trees, and we care about the people. And it's through wonderful people like you, supporters, followers, friends, people who share just about anything that we put out there. We are very much thankful. This is how it works. Also people who make donations, materials, construction materials, old building materials they no longer need, old cages they no longer need, old aquariums they no longer need. People come together and make this happen. We don't have much in terms of physical right now, but you see the passion of our volunteers and our followers and supporters have propelled us through the past 20 years. And as usual, I always tell people they need to understand, because they always assume, oh, you're going to get funding from the government, you're doing important work. We are not sponsored, we're not funded, we're not getting any subventions from anyone. It is all about you and us working together with that passion to save wildlife here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And let's head out for our tour.
Yeah. We are about people, we are about passion, and we have volunteers. We're an all-volunteer organization. We also have Donna here. Donna is a volunteer and an animal care technician. Say hi, Donna.
Hi, my name is Donna.
Tell us a little more about yourself now.
Well, okay. So I am the animal care technician.
Yeah.
My daily job includes basically taking care of the animals, rehabbing sick patients, doing educational programs, and yeah, that's about a day in my job, yeah.
Fantastic. I like how all of you could speak, but we have our next man to put on the spot there.
And also with me here, the short man.
Hi, my name is Ari Joseph. I attend Carpishama. I used to attend a Carpishama West Secondary School.
Nice.
I like working with animals.
Understandable. All right. And what is your job here mainly?
Catching snakes.
Cleaning, catching snakes. I caught 2 snakes this year, and I just like working with the animals.
That's good enough for me, man. That's good enough for me. Thank you very much.
So one of our main animals that we have here that has got a lot of attention for the center is an American black vulture, otherwise known, I know you're going to say it, yes, but don't say it. I'll say it for you. I'll say not to say it. Kobo. We don't like the word kobo, you see? And here's how Trinidadians say kobo. Oh, that is a kobo?
Yeah.
All you bring a kobo? Why all you have a kobo? Well, that is actually one of the most important animals in this country. Believe it or not, it is important by what it does. And what we hate about it is what makes it important. It is a scavenger. It feeds on carrion. Because are you going to get up in the morning and go on the side of the highway, Uriah Butler, Solomon Hochoi, and pick up the dead dogs, the dead cats, or any other dead animal? No. But he does it. And that way, keeping disease down.
Yeah.
Keeping you safe, your pets safe, your home, your children, keeping everybody safe. But for that great job that this animal does, what do? We keep scorn on it. That is a kobo. Why you go bring a nasty kobo here?
Yeah.
No. If you understand this animal, you'll learn that it is wow. We're lucky to have it.
So Chase came into us when he was about 2 weeks old. So most people don't know that vultures actually nest on the ground. So Chase's background story is basically someone's dog. The people live on a farm, so someone's dog caught him as a chick, brought him inside the house, and they didn't know what to do with this bird, right? So vultures as babies look nothing as what you normally see a vulture looking at, as with black feathers, right? When they are small, they are covered with what we call down feathers, and they are beige in color. So it's just a fluffy, fuzzy looking ball that looks like a bird. But honestly, if you see it, you would have no idea that that would turn into a vulture, right? So after a while of having him, you know, he came down with canker sores, which was that could prove very fatal to birds. So we took a lot of time and effort, and you know, Chase was really one of our miracle rehab patients. We honestly didn't think that he was going to make it, but we did put in the time, the care, and the effort, and thankfully he is here with us today. He's an education ambassador. He goes to school, and well, you know, he teaches, just as Mr. Mead said, he teaches the public, educates the public the importance of having our black vultures. Yes, come now boy, let me take a flight today. Yeah? Oh.
Woo! Did he fly? Just not to you.
Alright, come.
That's what we're talking about. Thank you, Chase. Thank you.
Right, so vultures, they like to sunbathe because it helps kill, just like us, they have parasites as well.
Okay.
So they have bird lice. So sunbathing usually help controls all those parasites that they would get. And you know, they enjoy being in the sun. Cleanup mechanism that has evolved is a process called urohydrosis.
Okay.
So basically what they do is they would urinate on their legs. I had to wash his legs this morning, but you would see the little white stuff there, right?
Okay.
That's when they urinate on their leg. That's basically a cleaning mechanism to keep their foot clean.
Okay.
Right, and it's also when they're out in the wild and you know, again, a little hot sun, they're feeling a little hot and stuff, all
cool off.
Keeps them cool. So basically his whole face and beak and everything was just covered in sores. He couldn't eat, he couldn't see with his eyes. So that's just to show you how really bad that was.
They come back good.
Yeah.
Very
He's 100% healthy now.
Okay. I'll explain what it is. A snake that was run over deliberately by a car.
Okay.
We're going to take it out. Donna's going to help me restrain it and swab it. And then I'm just going to give him this 0.5 ml of his antibiotics.
Okay, cool.
Make sure he doesn't get infection and he heals properly and hopefully go back in a while. So it's not going to suffocate because we cannot fill this bag with water because there are too many holes. Just to get that out there because you know the comments how they do right away. Someone deliberately ran over this snake with a car.
Yeah.
All right. They found it in the road. The lady screamed and then they literally ran over the snake, causing it some serious injury. So that's what we're treating here. So the injury is literally right here. See the sutures there? All the way here.
Okay,
that
wow.
whole area, they try to run over the head. And I guess the snake just kind of pulled back at the last minute. So these are all sutures. These were done at the Mount Hope Veterinary Hospital with Dr. Johnson and her students. But other than that, it's a beautiful snake in great condition. So once we keep this guy from, what you call there, getting infected and so on, it will do great. So we're going to give him the antibiotics, his last dose of antibiotic, 0.5. And so what we have to do is really just swab his area.
Okay.
Right,
and the correct name for this snake, what you were telling me
this
earlier,
is a red-tailed boa constrictor, aka Machiavelli rabbit. Right, so we're going to go, the snakes are easy, a nice area here, so we're going to clean it nicely. We're just going to literally just give it a little pull up, get right in there. Right, we're in, and give him his
medication.
Right, it was bad, really degloved, it was just open, but they did an amazing job, and we believe that it will recover fully. So hopefully next week it will reach the stage where we will feed it. So we're going to pop it back in the bag. All right, so just another day in the life of doing wildlife rehab here at the El Socorro Centre for Wildlife Conservation. Right, sadly, for everyone's sake, there are so many that we don't get an opportunity to get to. People send us a picture of the dead snake, and the question is, what kind of snake is it? Is it dangerous?
Yeah.
So you kill first, ask questions later. That is sad. You fed your dog in the evening when you came home 5 o'clock. You gave him too much food, as you always do. He doesn't eat all, and the food stays there. That's not a good thing. 8 o'clock when you're going in your bed, or 9 o'clock, please remove the food. When you know the dog has eaten, please remove the food, put it up, put it in the fridge, put it inside. Because what happens, two things come. All right, the two things that come are manacles and frogs. With the manacle, the sad case is a lot of times there's a mother manacle who is desperate to feed her babies. So this is a litter of manacles here that the mother was killed. So they're doing very well, and they're going to get ready to go outside. We have a cage we're preparing, our new manacle condo, for them to get their outside time before they are released. Okay. So these little guys, they're kind of bitey now, which is good. We don't want them too friendly and cutesy. Right? So this is a black-eared opossum, aka manacle, our local manacle. This is what people kill, and the thing is they're getting harder and harder to see because dogs are killing quite a lot of them. For the year so far, we've had about 60 admitted with dog attack. Sometimes they're too tiny to save, but these guys are a great stage. They've been here a couple of weeks and they are doing great. Right, so this is the black-eared opossum, and we have 3 types of manacle here in Trinidad. This is the famous black-eared opossum or manacle. Then you have the very famous in Chutney music, goose manacle. Yeah. And then you have the Robinson's mouse opossum, a really tiny one, that's like about that big. What a marsupial is, well, this is a boy, because you can see well the formation of his testicles, and they're usually actually blue. Okay. Right, so you can say he literally has blue, well, you know what.
Literally has blue balls.
Right. So let's see if we can find a female. More boys. Wow, this is a strange one. We get a lot of female here. Right, so they are marsupial just like the kangaroo, wombat. This is a female, so this is a pouch. Oh, she's peeing there. So this is a pouch right there. All right, then we'll go up a lot more, and inside there you will see the teats or nipples. So the babies will crawl out of a vagina, very small, about a 1 centimeter, go into that pouch and attach to those teats. And then they develop there, and then they start growing on the back and so on. It's the same thing the kangaroo does, the wombat, all these animals, most of the mammals in Australia are the same way. Okay. But these are the only type of marsupials, these 3, the manacles, are the only type of marsupials in the New World. All the others are basically Australia and the Old World. But also, even if you don't like manacles, I'm sure you don't want to come and see your dog frothing in the morning, because if you leave the food, crapo also comes to eat that. And then your dog, out of curiosity or whatever, his normal prey drive, bites them.
And for people who are not Trinis or don't know the terminology, crapo is like a large frog.
Cane toad, yep. Large toad. I think it's Buphus marinus, something like that. Yeah, big, warty looking critter. They can get pretty large.
And that's when your dog gets all that foaming around their mouth and all that kind of stuff.
They have the bufotoxins right behind their ears. That sort of milk, if you've ever held one, they sort of milk out. Yes. That is actually a powerful hallucinogen. So when the dog bites it, the dog's like, wow, this is amazing. And then he goes again and again. But by the 3rd time, he would have probably ingested so much of that bufotoxin that it sets him into shock, foaming, and then possibly death. To 6 there, you know, they make a quite, just imagine all these riding around on mama's back. Yeah. Right, yeah, come on, let go, like hold on there, and they'll hold on to each other. One pass, okay. Right, so all these guys here, so they are at the stage now where they're eating lots of grubs and meat and high levels of protein. This is there, look at that there.
And they obviously used to clinging up together.
Yeah, because they'll all hang on to mom's fur on her back, And I would guess in about a week's time or so is when they would start to fall off. So I always tell people, you find these things, call the professionals, call the people who know what they're doing. Yeah, okay, they belong out in the wild, not for us to keep and cuddle as pets. So let them smell how they do. They're important. They eat a lot of ticks and insects and stuff like that. They're very, very important to us. All right, so these are our local black-haired opossum. But this guy here is our largest and most significant bird of prey. Big enough that it can take down other smaller birds of prey as well as parrots and monkeys. Anything he gets at night.
Yeah.
So once an animal is resting at night and he can see them and hear them, they have an opportunity to be eaten by this beautiful bird here. Right, so we're just gonna reach in here and try to get him to behave a little bit. Give me a peek. Right, we got him. Right, there we go.
Wow.
Right. There we go. Quite a powerful. So what we believe happened, this is the age where they fledge. So it had fledged and possibly they're kind of clumsy on their first flight, crashed into something.
Okay.
So he has a bit of a dislocated shoulder. We try not to wrap it too much there because now we can sometimes create other problems with that. And he had an injury there. That's, you see the purple spray?
Yeah.
Someone sprayed him with that there on the ground. It's not the best thing. That actually burns the animal. So we try to avoid that. So even weeks later, almost a month later, you're still seeing the purple on him there.
So this is a young bird?
This is a young bird because when you send you a picture of the adult, it's pretty much all brown and it just has the spectacle look, hence the name. Okay. So all this white, he has no feathers here. This is all down. It will turn into feathers and it will be brown. That's what it looks like down inside there. It's all going to come out as feathers and the wings are great. I'm lovely to see him using the wings like that. We're going to put him down. So what he was in that carrier, that was called confinement.
Okay.
With an injury, like a dislocation, you can't have the bird using it too much, so you keep it in a confined space, right? But the feathers, the weirdest feathers of probably any bird. The feathers, look at this here, are quite long and fur-like, extremely soft.
Yeah.
Extremely, it's not like
one
normal
of
feathers.
those fancy chickens.
Right, look at that. Look how long. This is all feather right there. Relax yourself, good, your wing is feeling better.
All right.
With his big beak, that clicking sound, that's from his beak. Okay, and his big eyes because he's nocturnal.
Yes.
All right, so
his vision is exceptional.
Yes, but more important than his vision, all right, you can push it in as I close the door in there one time, right? More important than his vision actually is his hearing. Nocturnal raptors or birds of prey have amazing hearing. Their ears are actually asymmetrical, so they have one ear high up and one ear low down.
Okay.
And they would listen to hear where the sound of the rat or the mouse is coming from. And once they can pinpoint that, then they start looking and targeting. And if the sound is coming closer or further, they know how to adjust. And when it's the right time, they strike.
Like a radar.
Correct. If it cannot meet release criteria, then we have to make the judgment whether we can provide it with proper home, food, and conditions to keep him in a stress-free life for the rest of his life. And if we can't do that, then we sadly have to take the decision to euthanize the bird.
Yeah.
Okay? So these ones that you see here that are ambassadors were not euthanized,
yes.
but they're using them as wildlife ambassadors. That is the ones that you meet. Because how many of you have met a spectacled owl before?
Exactly.
Okay, and while he is not going to be an ambassador, which we don't believe he will be, we expect 100% recovery on that wing, and of course we have released many of them before. The ones who cannot go back in the wild, we try to give them the best life possible and to teach them and socialize them so they can meet you and greet you. So our next ambassador here, this guy here, is one of the most common owls in Trinidad. This is a tropical screech owl because it screeches. And it's from the tropics. It's also called the eastern screech owl in the US because they can't use the word tropical really in the US in a temperate region. But it's pretty much the same owl. Fledgling stage. So he's not ready to be on his own. His parents will be seen about him and he doesn't really have proper feathers here. It's still very downy. Okay? So when his feathers come in, he'll also develop two little pointy feathers like horns.
Okay.
And
right, yes, I think I've seen those before.
Yeah, he uses them to defend himself, you know, he turns sideways and raises that and, you know, try to, hey, I'm bad and so on like that there. But his wing feathers, his primaries are the first major feathers to develop, so his primary feathers are up and develop quite well, right? So he has on equipment. Okay, so step up, come on. Step, right, come on. You can step, come on, yeah. So he's still learning all these things. Yeah, bring your foot up, bring it up, all right. Would step on to the perch, come on. There you go.
Well done,
so that is training.
well
Every day
done.
this must be done. Okay, but today now we have to give him a little food, a treat. So we have a food for him that he doesn't eat very much of, but it's very important. It is super worms. So there's regular worms and these are super worms. These are big guys. These are at least not the jumbo ones. He's a little afraid of the jumbo ones because he's not getting accustomed to it. So let me just pop one there. That's what a superworm looks like right there. And this is one of his favorite little snacks, and we use this to train him. I'm trying something. See how he's looking at it?
Yeah.
He's looking at it.
He
He's
goes
like,
after it himself?
Not yet. This is one of the first times he's been offered free running around. In his enclosure, he would. And then offer him. Come on.
Mash it up.
Yeah, he doesn't stick when it comes to that. But I said it's a treat that goes along with his rats and mice and stuff like that. That he loves it. But these guys are high in keratin, which is great for the feather formation. Feather and fur formation is keratin, so these guys are high in that.
I've had girlfriends that have gone and get keratin in the hair and
There you go. You see how everything in life relates back? It's not like just the animals, it's people. We all require the same,
so
the
basically,
same thing.
I was just dating a bunch of owls.
So you give him this, he will eat 20, 30 at a time.
Wow.
Just eat until his belly is totally full. Right? And they do get bigger than this, but we give him this size because it's still comfortable. We don't want to scare him. We don't want the food to scare him to the point where he's like, I don't want that. Because they do bite back. So another owl, and this guy likes to lay on his side here and give a little fight up here. This is a really small, it's a nestling pygmy owl. He's not going to get too much bigger than this. This is the smallest owl in Trinidad and Tobago and the second smallest owl in the world.
Okay.
Okay, so you seen all that white? Was he suffering? That is down. A couple of weeks ago, he was totally white with all that stuff all over him. His downy feathers. And now he's molting them out and he's getting his brown final feathers. His wing feathers are coming in. Yep, there you go. See his little ball on the back there, feathers still waiting to come in. For his size, he has really exceptionally large feet. And these things are actually quite powerful and quite sharp. So he is really a serious killer. He will eat small snakes, lizards, mice, grasshoppers, locusts, katydid, you name it, this guy is going to eat it. He is not going to say no to food. So this here is one of our outdoor pre-release enclosures. What it does is gets the animals accustomed to being outside. It's not fully covered because they will not be fully covered outside. They have to learn to seek shelter from the rain or even high wind or the sun. And in there we have probably quite a bit still, right? So see how they're literally darting about when they see us. That's how they need to behave in the wild. They are ready, they're fully flighted. And what we do occasionally, we put in a nice tub, what we call a gael, and we put the live mice in there, along with some leaves and so on. So they would stand up there and they would use their eyes and their ears and stalk the animal, fly down, kill it, eat it. When they're doing this well, they're ready to go back into the wild. A limbo and going. Ready? On 2, 3, you go for it.
All right.
Oh.
Hello, partners.
Right. And it's hard to get a shot, and that is great because they're not going to stand still. They don't want you too close. That's his defensive mode. He's saying, look, I'm big, don't come by me.
Yeah.
And even if you look at them, you're seeing the different color phases. Not everybody. I think there's a reddish one in there. There's a red color phase one. So they're all a little different. Their own personalities, their own way.
They're like, Alan, bro, who tell you could come inside here, boy? So people could see that I'm actually in here and it's not fake.
Right.
My partner's over there.
6.
Gotcha. Woo, that's real cool, man.
Yeah, he's giving you the you don't see me kind of approach.
I
Instead
mean,
of flying off, they do that sometimes. They freeze and they hope like, okay, you don't see me. You're not seeing me, right?
Hey everyone, we're just taking a small break from today's video to shout out this week's sponsor. MRWI Limited is a leading Caribbean investment consultancy with offices in Trinidad and Tobago and in the US. They connect global investors with high potential projects across the Caribbean, from tourism and tech ventures to digital transformation. With deep local insight and global expertise, MRWI makes investing in the Caribbean simple and strategic. From opportunity scouting to project success, they guide every step of the way. Focused on sustainability and long-term impact, MRWI turns bold ideas into profitable, purpose-driven ventures. I am proud to support their mission of bringing global capital into the heart of the Caribbean and grateful for their support of the Trini surfer family. Thanks for listening, guys. Now back to our program.
So this is Yui, an amazing story and an important lesson. Yui came from, of course, the University of the West Indies, UWI.
Yeah.
2 years ago, we got a call about a hawk sitting in a tree very low to the ground. And I said, that sounds like rodenticide toxicity. A lot of our activities is causing these problems. We don't know why you guys doing this. When you poison a rat, the type of poison you use doesn't usually go away. So it goes into the rat, and then the rat goes outside to drink water, and then the hawk eats it. And now the hawk is poisoned also. It causes bleeding.
Okay.
So the bird will sit there, it's bleeding through its eyes, it's bleeding through its ears, it's bleeding through its mouth, it's bleeding through its cloaca. It's just sitting there bleeding up. And then one day when we were going to service his unit, his enclosure, he escaped.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, he was good enough to fly, he's good, he's gone. That's a release. Almost a year later to the week, we got another call from the University of the West Indies. There is a hawk, this time on the ground, and displaying the same features. I say, you guys use a lot of poison there. They say, yes, because when you go in UWI, almost every 20 feet you see a poison station.
Yeah.
So they're poisoning rats, and then the birds are eating them. And when the birds die, a bird like that can eat a couple of rats a day. So they do a better job of getting rid of the pests than the poison. And he has killed a couple of rats while he was here that were literally running around. He's gone out and just literally just grabbed them and killed them. So next is this guy. This is Zeus.
Yeah, it looks like a Zeus.
Yeah. Hence the name, Zeus.
Oh.
Yeah, every time he flies off, you see he goes around again and makes it shorter and hooks himself up. So I'm going to go in there and detangle him now. So he is a black hawk eagle, the most powerful bird of prey that exists in Trinidad and Tobago. So it's not a hawk. Well, it is a hawk, but it's a hawk eagle. So he wants to be an eagle, but he doesn't meet the physical characteristics for that. So he's a wannabe hawk eagle. His problem is this. Look at this. Say what's in the camera. What you say?
Yeah.
He's blind in that eye.
Oh, shoot.
So he cannot go back in the wild. On this side, he'll react.
Yeah.
Okay, but they have binocular vision just like us. So when you tell a man to drive with one eye blocking, he can do it. But the possibility of getting an accident is much greater because depth perception is off and so on like that. So he can fly and hunt. Your favorite food is parrots and monkeys.
Yeah.
But if he grabs at a parrot and just comes up with wing feathers or tail feathers, he can't eat that.
Yeah.
So he's just going to be always this close. But every time they fly and hunt, their energy reserves go down. So they're actually, in the best conditions, only successful 20% of the times. Now with one eye, he'll probably never actually get a real meal to eat. Yeah. This is the dread one. This is called the helix. When the three in the front holds the animal from escaping, the one in the back helix goes right through the body, puncturing heart, liver, spleen, anything that's in front of it. So that is, and it's very hard to take off. It locks in. It's like a lock in, like a, I guess, like they say, like a pit bull. How it, jaws locked in. Ari, bring these small rats for me, please. You see? Like, on this side, nothing but, yeah? All right, you ready for this? I'm going to drop it.
Hold on. All right, go ahead.
I'm going to drop it and he's going to go for it. Ready? Right, so he's going to open his wing to protect his kill. See there? It's called mantling. Make sure nobody else can get his food. Stay away. I'm a big bad boy. I don't play with my food. You see how he's looking at me? He's like, you're not getting my food, partner. You're not getting my food. See it? So this is the admission room. So if you have an animal that you bring in, this is where it would come with. That's why it had a desk and so on like that. But because of space and demand, we just put all sort of stuff in here. So this is yet another owl that we have here in Trinidad and Tobago, the most common one, the barn owl. But this one has a problem. It's that leg he has out there.
Yeah.
It can't, there's no mobility in the leg.
Okay.
It stays locked like that. So we're gonna have to find one of our volunteers to start the training process with this bird. It's very difficult to train an owl, especially an adult. That's pretty wild, but it's just too painful for me to put this bird to sleep.
Yeah.
This bird is perfect in every other way, strong, eating. I think he even killed a mouse that went in there last night. Doctors have the highest rate of self-termination in any field. When you switch that now to veterinary, it gets higher. And when you switch that now to veterinary that deals with wildlife, it's really the highest. I just recently, another lady who did foxes, she self-terminated.
Yeah, I saw that on TikTok.
Before that, a friend of mine who came here to Trinidad, a good friend of ours, Amanda, she self-terminated probably about 6 years ago. You do this to help, to make a difference. And when these things hit you, that you have to put an animal to sleep, you carry that home, that pain and so on. And what makes it more difficult is when you have insensitive people, let's say dotish comments, that don't understand what you have to go through, what you are sacrificing of yourself. Especially as a vet doing wildlife, there's no big money in that. It's not about, if you're a vet doing wildlife, it's not about the money. That's why we use donations, expired medications, expired supplies. When we do our outreach programs, it's not for money, but we do charge some money because transport is a cost. People taking their time off from their jobs to do is a cost. To feed the animals is a cost.
I mean,
to
you,
build
you can't
enclosures.
just operate on no money
Correct.
anyway.
Yeah,
Anyhow, you know?
And it's like, people believe that we are supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're charging us? I said, please, then call some other organization. And then you call us back because you realize that our rate is just really to keep operational.
Yes.
So up on top, this is our enclosure that we hold the animals to. This animal is going to be an ambassador. That is actually a peregrine falcon.
Okay.
The fastest animal on earth. That can dive at speeds of over 300 kilometers per hour. But someone shot him. So if you notice, there's a wing hanging out. That wing was almost blown off. So these are two barn owls that came out of someone's roof. They hate people, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
So they're getting ready to go back into the wild. They'll be released somewhere where they will now practice rodent control. So more and more people will get to understand that if you let us put this on your compound and an owl box, they will stay around and they will kill rats. That is the world famous Aplomado falcon.
Wow. Hey, right.
Yeah. Quite falcons, as you probably falcons, they're quite jumpy birds.
Yeah.
Okay, they're high strung, that's why they have that speed and they always go for it. So it's quite a challenge to make them ambassadors. But we've had this guy for over 2 years now, for nearly 2.5 years. He was shot. Most of the birds are shot. Straight up there. And the tip of his wing, well, half pellet gun will shoot, right?
Yeah.
You ain't even going hunting or anything, but you seen bird around, so you shoot a kiskadee, you shoot a mockingbird, you shoot an owl, all sort of things they shoot at. So this guy is missing the tip of his wing. Can't go back in the wild. It had to be amputated.
Okay.
And down below is our last species of owl, mottled owl. So it is one that is rarely seen, right? You should be able to get a nice shot through there, so you can get him without any bars. There you go. Mottled owl.
Wow.
Beautiful eyelids. Looks like he's wearing.
Very calm.
Yeah. He's been with us for a while. Yes, there she is. That's an ocelot. So this ocelot, this girl is from South America. Somebody gave it up as they had it as a pet, and they gave it up to us. But we knew right away that it's not a local one. So she's here by herself. There's no way that we'll ever try to breed her. She's basically given sanctuary here, so she will live out her life here.
Iguanas, baby iguanas to be specific.
Yep.
They're real beautiful, huh?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. You can't tell Trini nothing half the time, but that's the thing I wish people would just leave alone instead of trying to catch all the time and inside the pipe there.
Yeah. And the amazing thing is when we go to Florida, these animals just sit on the sidewalk and you walk past and they just nod their head at you like, oh,
yeah, what are you seeing, you right?
In Trinidad, when an iguana sees you, it does either one thing, it runs fast,
yeah,
or it tries to hide. Because when I saw what they did to the iguanas, they take the iguana legs and break it,
yeah,
and hook it into itself,
yeah,
and have them hanging up live outside there. That is just cruel and painful. So we got those iguanas and we fixed the leg. A lot of times the legs are broken and so on there. We splintered them and the leg came back. And the big male, we had about 5 females in a lovely enclosure with him there. He bred them, they laid the eggs. We took the eggs away and incubated them. And we had tons of babies all over that we released all over the country. And they were not too much smaller than this. These guys are still very young. Of course, you can tell by the bright green color. And of course, everything on them is just really small.
Yes,
but in the US,
entire size is small.
yeah, in the US, these guys can get 6 feet and look amazing. You see the oranges and the grays and so on there. You don't see that much in Trinidad because from the time they start showing up, Trini start killing them.
Yeah,
and that is the sadness about them. And you can't just see this animal and talk about curry and curry stew. They are beautiful where they are, and we need them in our ecosystem. Snowy here has some issues, but he's coming along. Come on. Quite nicely. And what we can do, Ari, see if you see the black glove for me, please. There's a black glove around somewhere. Probably check on top of the aquarium first. Yeah, you just hold him there, you can step up. There you go. And I'm just going to clip him onto your glove here. There's a D-ring.
Can I ask you to get a little video as well too?
Oh,
and
yeah.
possibly a picture?
Oh yeah, sure. All right, so if you do, I guess if you do it, we'll get a nicer background in the aqua. Relax, bring your elbow into your hip a little bit. Bring it down to your hip and keep your hand, so you want to be like this with him there. It's a more comfortable position for you.
Like this?
Like that, your hand's going to get tired real fast, but like this is a little more comfortable.
Okay.
Right. So if I punch in there, yeah. Oh yeah, that's it right there. No cars right there.
Look forward. So guys, I've got myself a new pet. I've fed up with dogs and cats and things, so I wanted to get something more exotic. But putting aside all that silly talk, what kind of bird is this?
White hawk.
A white hawk. As you can see, I'm very nervous, but I'm hiding it because I don't want the hawk to take off my hand. And they're doing some really fantastic work, not funded by the government, so reliant on donations and different things. Basically, people putting their time out, you know, of their own doing and really trying to help the wildlife in Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm happy to share this amazing experience with them, put myself out of the comfort zone, and I hope too, one day, you will be willing to donate and help them keep these fantastic species and many others going strong in Trinidad and Tobago. Respect the wildlife, respect your home and love your country. And maybe one day, we won't have to see me holding these birds, but they'll remain in the wild where they belong. Right, baby? Please don't peck me in my face.
Gray-lined hawk.
Gray-lined
hawk. So the gray lines on his body. And then as it gets older, at 2.5, it will molt out the feathers and get his gray characteristic plumage.
I am now the #1 bird handler in Trinidad.
Now you put your wing in the mouth. There you go. Right, so always make a kind of fist that helps you to straighten and anchor it. Right, so this will just go on to here.
Larry, how you going, brother? Yeah, Alan is your best friend now. I don't have any of the food you eat, unfortunately. But I'm a good soldier, as you can see. Very calm. They're really beautiful though. These birds, all these birds, everything.
Birds of prey. Birds of prey are just amazing.
They look fascinating. They're very, very look like somebody customized an animal how they want it to look.
Yep.
I get to do a lot of cool things on my YouTube channel, eh?
Munch everything and stomp everything. So this is Sheldon. Sheldon will bite you if you put your finger there.
Okay.
So say, Sheldon, you want a finger, Sheldon? Sheldon, here's a finger.
Sheldon, what kind of treatment is that, boy?
Yeah, I feed you, I take care of you, and this is the reward I get. Yeah, Sheldon, tell him, this is the reward I get. I will bite you. And in that cage, a special guy, that's a yellow-headed caracara. Sorry, my bad. That is a northern crested caracara. The yellow-headed caracara is more common and smaller. So this guy is going to go into training. It's quite an intelligent bird.
Yeah.
About 10 years ago, they were very rare in Trinidad. And now they're becoming quite common. Quite a few breeding colonies in UWE. They're quite intelligent. That's actually in the falcon family.
Okay.
But he gave up his speed for brain power.
Okay.
And now he's very analytical. So he's more like a crow. He will analyze situation and figure out how to do stuff. But these are not from Trinidad. These are wedge cap capuchins, and they're smuggled in from Venezuela for pets. Sometimes after 2 weeks, people get fed up of them. Sometimes 2 years. At 2 years, they become aggressive. They start to grab and bite and do stuff like that, and people don't want them anymore, or they escape. Right? And they're very curious, yeah? So you'll try to grab your camera, put your finger there, you'll hold your finger.
Thank you.
Right? Just don't let him bring it in. If you bring it in, it's his and he will eat it.
Yeah.
And in the corner there is this guy that they call Papa. He is a local ocelot.
Wow.
But a young guy. Doesn't like people too much, so won't put a camera too close. They have a 14-inch reach outside of the cage.
Okay.
Okay.
Getting on bad.
Yeah. He's just saying, stay away from me, leave me alone. You know, he's not really coming at you or anything like that.
My wife will say that's how I snore when I sleep in.
Trinidad is the only island in the world that has ocelot. They used to be in Tobago, but they killed them out in the protected forest reserve.
Yeah. Any chance they could get to hunt and do something?
Yep.
They're addicted to that, boy.
Well, this one here, what he loves, watch.
Yeah. It's games. You like games?
Yeah, so that's part of the natural behavior. That's how they would rip the flesh off of the dead animals and so on. Yes, they love that. Come, give me some beak. Give me some beak. Give me some beak. Yeah. Hello. Don't worry, he's not doing anything. Come on, right here. Hello, morning. So yeah, that's how he was fed. So whenever I put my hand, that's a cue to come bring your head so that we get to examine them and just interact with them, keep them very nice and friendly. So a lot of these that we have, people would have surrendered their grandmothers and so on, or just after a while they realize they're too noisy, they don't have time, the children don't like it, their husband don't like it. So in this case, the guy, he brought the whole cage, and we just literally put it down right there with the bird, and when we put another one with it, the young one, a little messy one there, you know, and we'll of course food mango. You know, we love this time of the year because the preponderance of mango. So it's one of their favorite fruits, and it helps cut down our food bill. Yeah. So we try to encourage people, if you can get a bucket or two, a bag or two of mangoes and drop it over the center, communicate with us, drop us off. So we're hoping to breed them because they were actually quite popular in Trinidad, and Trini started selling them to the US market. Yeah. So they got $100 US for one, and they were sold in the US for $2,500 US. So they're all making money. In the meantime, by the mid-80s, there were none in Trinidad. Yeah. And that's when they had to do the reintroduction program, bringing in 19 pairs from Guyana. There we go. And Stevie is a porcupine. The Brazilian
Stevie the porcupine.
Yeah. And it's called Stevie because, like Stevie Wonder, he is blind. poor diet, somebody had him. So the poor diet, he lost his vision. So he cannot go back in a while. So we had one, we released him. And this is who we have here. They also call him Sir Senior. All right, so see the front teeth, a porcupine is actually a rodent. You see the eyes? No eyes. No eyes. He literally lost his eyes. Okay, they cannot shoot the quilts. Okay, the best they would do is if they're in danger, they would sort of raise up so that the quilts go into. Okay, so it's in the rodent family, just like the agouti and rats and stuff like that there. And it is found in Trinidad, although it's called the Brazilian porcupine. So we cut up his food and present food for him and so on there, and he's pretty much okay with it. This is our iconic bird. This is the channel-billed toucan. It is the only toucan that is native to Trinidad. That's why we adopted it for our mascot. Yeah, he will try to stick that through there and grab anything. So this one here is Grant. He came from New Grant. Somebody got him when a tree fell down, and they were trying to mine him. And we have another one, Lola. She's a miserable self. She saw us down there, so we're going down there to be a little pest.
Is this Emil?
Yeah, bad man.
Bad man Lola.
What you doing down there? Why are you waving like that? Oh, okay, all right. You know, they're really impressive birds, but they can be very aggressive towards each other and even to people. So you keep them separated for their life.
Their safety.
Yep. Common black hawk. I think he was shot. Yep, common black hawk. He was shot. So we're not sure the condition of the wing. We're going to put equipment on him and try to test him. Nice. But he's really wild. So this is the proper way to keep raptors. They can't hurt their wings or anything like that, and they wouldn't fly into it because they see it's like a tree. Yeah. So we stripped pallets and just did over the whole thing inside out. It's breathable, but it also keeps them confined. So he's not too happy. We don't come out here too often, so that's why he's very
beaten up.
Squirrel monkeys.
Squirrel monkeys.
Yeah.
Hungry, boy. You hungry? Or they greedy?
For worms? Yeah. That is a treat every. He dropped the other one together that day. For worms, this is their favorite food. So when people see them, a lot of times eating. Okay, let me grab this one here. Eating fruits. It's not really the fruits they eat. What they do is that they throw the fruits on the ground, and then the flies come and lay, and then of course when it hatches, you get the maggots, and that's what they love to eat. That's how they get their protein. Yes, go ahead. Yeah, so they'll go at this. They will eat a couple of hundred a day if you give them a chance. Yeah. It is their favorite all-time food, and most people cannot provide this food for them. So if you can't provide properly for the animal, oh gosh, just leave it alone now. Those two, watch.
They run into the nest.
That is the breeding pair. And then they just stick their heads up. Right. Keep shooting, you'll get the two heads popping up just now.
So that's them what, just looking out?
Huh?
They're looking
They're
out?
protecting their nest. And that barrel simulates the palmist tree. When the tree dies, it doesn't fall. The top falls off and it starts rotting, and they would go in there and lay and start breeding and so on. So that is the closest proximity we have to that.
I ain't coming for your nest, partner.
Yeah, you go there and you're going to see them stick their head out and try and bite you. You can stretch your hand forward a bit there. You might get a little... Yeah, both of them one time. Not today, partner. That is what they're saying.
Cora. Hello, Cora. Looking real pretty. This one, so she had an issue as well?
Found sitting, literally sized to sit in the palm of my hand, wandering around Cora River because they killed the mother.
Oh, good.
And she just, you know, they probably didn't even know she had a baby, fell off, and was just wandering around, totally helpless. So we have to prepare a special formula for Cora all the time to eat that involves the super worms, boiled egg, banana, tomatoes, second stage baby formula, cod liver oil, and boiled egg also, and just whip it all together. Any chance
of release? No.
What we would like to do is at least acquire the services of a male to try and breed them, because they're very slow in terms of reproduction. Yeah. Quite like the porcupines, every couple of years, like sluts. They're related to sluts. They're teethless animals. So she has a long tongue that can extend as long as 12 inches or so right now. And the worst feeling you can have is when she sticks it. That's what I keep saying. When she sticks it in your ear, you feel it behind your eyes.
In your brain.
So because I'm sweating a bit there, she's actually licking the sweat off of me there. Yeah, you feel it and it's like, right? So this is Cal.
Next one, Cal.
Right, Cal. Cal, the albino Burmese. Oh gosh, all right, so we're going to keep Cal away from Cora, please, Cora is food.
Cora is food.
Right? Yeah, we don't want to ever since we just, like
I
a
can
3-year-old.
safely say it is the first time I've ever had a snake on me.
Really? And George
Yes.
is the coolest thing there. He will not bite.
Are looking good?
Oh yeah, natural.
Yeah, I can feel George's tail touching me up really
He wants
nicely.
to hold on.
Yeah,
And
good
yes,
accessories. Much better when they're alive.
Oh yeah.
Very stylish.
Yep. This is the way. If you can't wear snake skin like this,
Yeah.
then don't wear it at all.
You're not fashionable or brave enough to wear it the true way, you know?
Coat or skin that comes out from under there.
It's very safe to say that frequently doing YouTube videos and different things, I'm put into baptism by fire situations.
Yeah, you just jump in, man. You know you're gonna live.
Yeah.
And
You know?
we always tell people, step outside of your comfort zone.
Always,
That's how you
always,
grow.
always, always.
That's how you grow. If you stay the same way, you won't even leave your mama's house.
Exactly.
Step outside of your comfort zone.
So this is probably the biggest, heaviest thing I've ever had on my body, period. Oh my God.
Yeah, a little weight.
Yeah,
70
yeah.
something pounds. Right, you're just gonna get it over your shoulder there.
Oh good.
Right, so this is some key now is keep your hands open. Let me get your hand. I'm controlling this hand.
Yeah.
Keep it open. I'm controlling it like a
Yeah.
robot, right? Just
Yeah.
keep it open. It's gonna slide off a little bit. Right, you're good there. Keep it open. Now, if you don't close in on him, he doesn't feel like he's being restricted and he'll be comfortable. Pretend to be a tree and you're good to go.
A
Snakes
big
don't eat
moving
trees.
tree.
Yeah, snake don't eat trees, so you're good to
Ooh,
go.
he has some weight, boy.
Yeah. And the power, when he starts to move and constrict a little bit there to hold on, you feel those muscles giving you an amazing massage.
There's some power there.
And of course, the
Wow.
part that freaks people out there is what he does sometimes with his tail.
Yeah.
So you focus on his head up there, and then his tail is sort of moving around your body
Yeah,
and touching
he's
you in
sizing you up.
places. Yeah.
Let me step back and see her.
See that tail there? Yeah. And he can go in some intimate places sometimes with that tail, and that freaks people
Ooh,
out.
his head going in some intimate places right now.
So it's an albino with the pink eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. In the wild, and the normal coloration would have been dark black spots almost and browns. So they're now the yellow and the whites and so on there.
He's a heavy boy, heavy boy. I thought I need to lose some weight, but I feel like this boy need to lose some weight.
Right. There you go and stretch out some more. He
can stretch out some?
may get to about 18 feet probably.
Big guy, big guy, big guy.
There you go.
So this is the end of the video, guys. I've really enjoyed my visit here. I mean, how can people donate and stuff to
All
you?
right. So I would love to thank Alan for coming down again to the Socorro Centre for Wildlife Conservation. We're right now in Calcutta, but we're looking to move to 2 locations. We're going to be in Trini and we're going to be in Brasso Venado. We are not sponsored or funded by anyone. We do corporate events, we do private events, we do school events and so on. Our focus is really reaching and teaching. We do generate some income that way, but that all goes to operational expenses to feed these animals, which is quite a hefty,
Costly.
a recurring expense all the time. We are all volunteer organizations, so we're always happy people to come down and do things. People come down with their vans and help us to move things around. There's so much that you can do in an organization like this to learn about these animals and also to conserve what we have as environmentalists.
Very good. And guys, of course, like and subscribe. And all the information you need to get in touch down below in the description. Check it out. Should you want to donate or help in any way, please do. And again, blessings, love your country, keep it clean, respect the wildlife, and I'll see you very soon with more exciting videos from Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you very much. All right.
A snake handshake.
There you go.
Very good.
Right, all wrapped up. All right.